On this clock behind me. Now it's 7:37. That's really interesting. 7:37. This is a time of change. It really is. Time of great change. If you think about it. Let me flip it back to me. First it went off just a little bit. And I thought, why is the alarm going off? I mean, I haven't been in here at 7 in the morning before. And I would touch the clock and the alarm would go off. This is spiritual. Okay, this is important, I feel, in the spiritual realm. And then it would go off a little bit more. And I'd touch it again. But this time it just kept going on. It wouldn't stop. I said, why is this alarm going off behind me on his clock? And it would even show, let me show you what it would show. Well, see, it's this alarm bell. I didn't set the alarm. And I can't believe that Ken would have set the alarm to just go off continually in here. But this thing has been going off since I've been in here. I've been in the garage for probably 30 minutes. And I thought, is this a warning? Is this a warning from the spiritual realm that something is getting ready to occur? Good morning, everyone. And I am a spiritual person, and you may be a spiritual person too. It's hot outside. I do believe, and I feel within my being, that something major is about to happen. Something very major with this alarm going off, and the mere fact that the 7:37 showed up on here. This is a time of great change. A time of great spiritual change. I don't know if you were feeling it. Hello, Nurse Kathy, good morning. A time of great change is upon us, you all. And the alarms are being sounded. They are. I think I peeked at the headlines yesterday in the world. And there was Russia, and there was China, and then there was North Korea. It's like the momentum for war is building. But it's not just world war or things like that. No, you have it going on in your lives too. It's literally, there are so many ripple effects of instability that is now being seen. Ripple effects that some of the ripples are small, and wherever the ripples of change hit, you're going to feel it, whether it be like a small ripple. You think, oh, I got this small ripple. But what happens when the larger ripples start coming in, and those larger ripples start turning into massive tidal waves? Because you know what a tidal wave, it just gets like it's like a snowball that comes down from the top, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And these tidal waves, these ripples, they say, you know how they say a tsunami's coming? It's just a small ripple, but they can see it off in the distance. They can see the financial tsunami that's coming. Why do you say tsunami? It just popped in my mind, that's why I said it. They can see the financial tsunami that is coming. They can see the war tsunami that is coming, because right now they're ripples. You got to look at these as tsunamis. They are ripples. And the closer they get to our lives, the more impact, the more we're going to see them. And it's like, when they get so big, you're going to see them. They're going to be massive, so massive. And you know they're going to crash. And when they crash, they're going to literally like just wash everything, just wash away the stability in our lives, the normalcy. If you say, well, I don't have no more normalcy in my life anymore. You got some right now, and I would advise you right now, I'd personally advise you, since you have some normality in your life right now, and you're able to do something you're able, hello, Applebrooks, honey. You're able to take care of things, get your life in order. Take advantage of it now. Take advantage of the small ripples that are happening right now. Don't just sit there on the beach. Don't be like the person who just sits on the beach and they see these big ripples coming in. They see these like waves. Oh, this is so beautiful. It's like high tide. But the high tide keeps coming in. And they're just sitting there on the beach and they can see how you can literally, if you're on, let's think of this. If you're on that beach, you're just relaxing, you can see in the distance. You know it's coming in the distance because you can see the gigantic waves out there that are coming toward the shore, and you're sitting there in a lounge chair just relaxing, taking it easy, enjoying your life and just enjoying whatever. You better pick yourself up off that chair. You better get off the beach. Get off the sand, because when the tsunami comes in, that sand is not going to save you. You're going to get washed away if you do not get up and get to safety. Do whatever you got to do to make sure that you're in a secure location within your life, okay? Secure location within your being. With that tidal wave, if you're sitting there, if you like the individual, saying, I just like to relax on this beach. Those ripples, those small waves are so nice. And then you're sitting there and they're getting closer because you know it's just high tide, the water's getting higher. And then you're going to have to move your lounge chair back more if you're sitting in a lounge chair. And then you're waiting for the high tide to recede. Oh no, it's not receding. When this high tide comes in, it's not going to recede until that big tsunami comes in. And are you going to still be found sitting on the beach? And you're going to have your family with you sitting on the beach, innocent bystanders? Are you going to warn anybody else? Say, I don't know about you, but this is not normal. This high tide, this is not receding. And in fact, it's encroaching further into the land. I think something's coming because these things I can't even see nothing but gigantic waves back there. That's your warning. That's your alarm sign. We've got great change coming. And it's not just ripples. It's not the ripple effects. It's not just high tide. It's a tsunami of change. And not just one change. A whole lot of change is coming. And if you do not prepare now, you're going to get washed away when that tsunami of change comes on that shore. You better get it. I hope and pray that you're not still scooting your lounge chair back, or you're still not pulling your little towel that you're sitting on back, even though the warning sign is right there in front of you. It's right there telling you, look, and you can see it with your physical eyes, but you think, oh, this is so cool. I love it. It's nothing. You ought to come down here to the ocean. Come down here and let's watch these great big waves. The water's rising above the piers. Come on down. Let's see how high it can rise. You go right ahead. You go right ahead and you stay in harm's way when that water keeps rising, and then the ripples get bigger and that big tsunami comes. You stand right there. Be like that person on the 2012. Is that what it was? Was that when Yellowstone was about to blow? He was doing his broadcast from Yellowstone. He didn't want to leave. He got on top, and when it started to blow, he saw it. And then the next thing you know, the pyroclastic eruption occurred, and it just blew him down. And the people were on the airplane running for their lives. They're starting the airplane, and the guy and his son are running for their lives, trying to get on the airplane so that they don't get taken away by the eruption that occurred in Yellowstone. But they finally make it, even though the runway and everything is given way. The ground is given way. The ground gives way. That's not just the beach. The ground itself will give way. The foundations of life will give way, and you better be prepared for it. The 12/24/2012. Are we speaking about the Mayan calendar? According to we're in the year of the dragon right now. Are we in the leap year? I think are we in a leap year right now? But this is the year of the dragon. It's a time of enormous change. And if it's the year of the dragon, you can rest assured the dragon is taking every bit of the power. It's harnessing the power that is coming with the year of the dragon. You can rest assured of that. It's not going to allow it spiritually and symbolically to not be harnessed. It's not going to. It's the year of the dragon. The great dragon. They're making their moves. The armies of the world are making their moves. They are. They're strategically planning. They know what's coming too. And they're getting their forces in place. They're getting their governments in place. They're getting their militaries in place. They're getting their... Some countries are getting their populations and warning their populations, you know, you need to prepare. I don't know if the United States is warning theirs. I don't know if they're just keeping people in the dark and say, well, let them fend for themselves if they can't look around and see what's happening. If you got major stuff happening in your life right now, multiple major things, it's going to continue to happen. And it's your warning. It's your, oh, there goes my nose tickling. It's your alarms. It's the alarms of life going off. They're telling you, you've got to get ready. That's why these little things, and they may not be little, they're preparing you to be strong enough on the inside. You've got to heed the warning signs. You can't just keep your eye closed and just say, well, I'm just going to party. It's like when the flood came. The flood came and they still partied. They were out there partying while he was building the boat. He tried to listen to them. He tried to get their attention, but they didn't want to listen. They wanted to party. They were drinking and marrying and giving and marrying and all of that kind of stuff. They were doing what they wanted to do until the flood came and it washed them all away. It's interesting, it said it washed them all the way. The flood, the waters kept rising. Just like in the beginning of this video, the waters kept rising. And they just kept doing their thing. They probably started beating on the door when the water started getting up to their neck and they couldn't get any higher on the mountaintops or the hills. But it was too late. You can't beat down on the door. The ramp has already been washed away. You'd have to swim to it. You would have to swim to it, and you ain't going to get very far. When the water rises and the ripples are coming in and the waves are like that, ask somebody who's went over on a boat and they're out in the middle of the ocean and they got a life jacket. Even if you got a life jacket, even if you got a small boat, those waves get really big and they will come crashing down, even with regular fishing boats. Oh, those waves get big and it tosses you back and forth. You think you're going to survive? Especially if you've been warned. And if you're not prepared, you're not even going to be prepared. You won't even know what to do if you don't start preparing now. And these are just examples, symbolic examples, to put it into human terms, what's coming this way and what's already here. And it's going to accelerate. It's going to come fast. A catastrophic mutating event will strike. It means all of a sudden. And it's catastrophic. It's life-changing. Life-changing doesn't mean, oh, it's just going to change for a day. It's just going to be a little change. No, it's literally life-changing. Life-changing. Life, it is all-encompassing. It's not just like one area of my life's going to change, so what? I lose my job, so what? It's going to be much more than so what. And you may say, oh, that's why I don't like listening to you, Gina. I heard that just now. I don't like listening to you. You're just a gloom and doom. Then you can exit the channel. You can exit the channel. And you can ignore the warnings that are out there all around, even in the news, even though the news is controlled. You just go ahead and ignore it. This is not gloom and doom. This is, what did my people die for lack of knowledge? And I know everybody's got a lot of things going on in their life. I got a lot of things going on in my life. Am I going to forget the times that we're living in? Absolutely not. These are part of the times that we're living in. This is just a little bit of calm before the major storms start hitting. And there are major storms. You've got tsunamis coming from the ocean. You're going to have hurricanes coming. You get hurricanes of life, tsunamis of life, and real world tsunamis and real world hurricanes. You got wildfires that are popping up, real world And you got wildfires popping up in people's lives also. You got earthquakes occurring, real world, and earthquakes occurring in people's lives. You can literally look at what's happening to the earth and you can compare it to what's happening in people's lives. There are all types of events that are occurring, and you can't deny it. You can't. You can look around and you can see people you know that's going through them. Some of the things they're going through are more major than others that others are going through. Not to say that others ain't going to go through those events too in some shape or form. You got to be ready. You got to be strong enough on the inside right here. Don't ignore the warning signs. Don't be just sitting on the beach and the tide's not receding and the ripples are coming and you can see the big tsunamis out there. Don't you just be sitting there, just scooting your chair back or your tail. Get up and get to safety. Get to higher ground. Build you a boat. I'll build a boat in the desert. Whatever that song is. So let it rain. That song, it's a good song. I'll build a boat in the desert sands, and when the waters start rising, I want something because you're by my side. You're the wind in my sails. Your love never fails. I build a boat, so let it rain. I want you to listen to that. It's a beautiful song with very beautiful, encouraging words, and it's upbeat, even though the storms are coming in life. Oh, it's beautiful. I like that. It's one of the songs I like to listen to when I hear it. I'll build a boat, so let it rain. You want to build that. You want to get to building that boat right now, a spiritual boat. Gina, there's no such thing as a spiritual boat. Well, there is a such thing as a spiritual boat. There is a such thing. And if you think about when the apostles, they were on the boat, they wanted to go out fishing, and they fell asleep. They fell asleep. I guess somebody fell asleep. Somehow Jesus got to walking on the water. Or they woke up the master because the storm was there. The waves were just beating up against the boat. And they woke up the master. What are we going to do? Because he's in the boat too. He knew it. He could probably feel it. They were terrified. And what did he say? I think he said, peace be still. Or I don't know what he said. Then he got up, I think, and that's when he started walking on the water, and he called for one of them to come out with me. And then they started to, and then they started to doubt, and then they started to sink because they started to doubt. But once they stopped doubting, they were able to walk on the water. There's a song too. I want to walk on the water. I think who sings that? It's a song too. Walk on the water. You got what it takes. I assure you, you truly do have what it takes in the spiritual realm on the inside of you to face any storms that come your way. Will it be easy? No, it won't. It will require a strength that comes from within, because some of these storms that are coming and that are occurring, it's not your strength that's helping you through it. No, it's the greater strength within you. It's the love of God. It's Jesus. It's God giving you the strength. And you got angels by your side. Whether you realize it or not, there's angels, there's guardian angels out there. The alarms were just going off. You just tuned in. I was in the garage. The alarm started at 7 o'clock. It started as beep, beep. I said, what are you doing? And I touched the clock, and I thought, well, I don't know why it's going off. And then it started again, and I touched the clock. Then it started again, and I touched the clock, and then just go beep, 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 beep. I said, okay, that's okay. You got my attention. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to do a video. The alarms are going off all around the world. It's not just here in the United States. It's not just here in your life. The alarms are going off. The alarm bells. The alarms are being raised. If you have eyes to see, it's like forever seeing, forever hearing, but not understanding, not even seeing. You better start to open your eyes, take the veil, ask for the veil to be removed from your eyes and from your heart, from your ears. You gotta awake. You can't be a sleeper. Awake, oh sleeper. It's like you don't want to wake the sleeping giant. Well, there is a sleeping giant that has gotten awakened. on this earth, a sleeping giant. Sleeping giant. Trying to see who the sleeping and what the sleeping giant is. It's war. Major war. Sleeping giant. It reminds me of something of old. It reminds me of the angels being kicked out of heaven with a third of the host. The sleeping giant is awakening. Sleeping giant of old. And it's not good. It's not good. I am going to go see if my mom's awake yet. And you'll be seeing more videos from this location right here. Because it's a quiet spot. And I like this spot. It's got some good energy in here and it's perfect. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a trash man out there. That probably is. I didn't take the trash out. I'm going to go. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Thank you, moderators, and thank you all for your comments. Please give this video a thumbs up, you all. I will be checking back in here off and on. I will. Love you.